a gadget for us to see today. And ladies and gentlemen, Travis Ryan, give him a little round of applause. He's a nice guy. So Travis, tell people what this thing is that you got in your hand.
All right, this is the Pebble Watch. They released this as a Kickstarter project that they launched back early 2012. Their goal initially was to raise about $100,000, sell about 800 watches, and in about 3 or 4 months they raised $10 million and sold about 80,000 watches. So their delivery date changed. It was a few months late.
Ramping up.
Yeah, they had to go to obviously go to China, and the whole scale of that just blew out the water. So, but it's really it's been everything that I was hoping it would be. It's a great discreet messaging device, so you can leave your phone in your briefcase, in your pocket. You don't have to check it during meetings. You can get a little email, text message, any kind of banner that shows up on your iPhone that you can set. So sports scores, calendar updates, those kind of things. You'll get a little buzz on the phone. It's got a vibration feature in it, and so it'll buzz. Look and check the message.
So you can actually just look down at your watch. So instead of pulling out your phone while you're at dinner with the in-laws, you can just look at your watch.
That's right.
The whole time, right? That's on that. That's great.
There's a couple apps that go with it. There's a rangefinder for golf, so you can figure out how far it is from here to the first green on Verde over there. There's a run keeper. It tracks your distance and pace and all that kind of stuff if you're either running or biking.
Yeah.
So it's
What if
great.
you're not into any of those things? Is there other kind of things on there? Like
There-
I use to control my television, or
Well,
tell me if there's beer in the fridge.
Okay, I geeked out a little bit this before today. I made a Tech After 5 watch face, and so it's pretty easy to do. It took me about 5-10 minutes to do that. There's a web-based app that you can drop a photo in.
My logo on this guy's watch. I kind of think that's cool myself. I wish more people would do that. Very neat.
Other features, you can control your music on your iPhone as well. That came in handy. We had a birthday party, had my iPhone plugged into a speaker about 100 yards away, and the song came on we didn't want, and so just hit the button, switched to a different track. So it was really cool.
Can you tell us what the song was? No, I'm just kidding. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Travis Ryan, thanks a lot. The name of the gadget is the Pebble smartwatch. And this is a reminder. And how much does it cost, Travis? $150 normally, but a special Gadgetfest thing. Now, it doesn't say Gadgetfest anywhere on the website, but it's $130 today if you go on their website to do it. Just tell them Gadgetfest sent you for something. I don't know that. But this is a reminder. I just had my phone went off in the middle of that interview right there. So I'm going to set mine to quiet. So you can do that if that makes sense to you. Who's talking for charter? Hutch? Oh, well, how's it going, Hutch? I'm doing well. Listen, we have a secret thing going on today, and if you can tell, you can hear me even when I don't have the mic in my hand. So I'm going to hand you the mic for a second. I know it's dangerous and all that. It is, yeah. But listen, you guys at Charter Business, I saw one thing, by the way, on some of the tables anyway. Yeah, you guys played Santa. I saw Santa Days go around and hand out. Oh, you got one in your pocket.
Yeah, we have some Christmas ornaments laying around on the table. If anybody likes one, we didn't bring any gadgets. We just provide a bandwidth to make sure they run properly there. So
I really hope for your sake everything runs well.
I hope so. I hope so.
Great. That's awesome. So tell people, what are you guys doing here today?
Well, Charter Business is here. We love getting involved in the community. We love to come out to these events and just let you know that we have local people in the area. I see Craig in the background over there. We just have a lot of local people that you can talk to if you ever need anything. And as far as Charter, most people in this room know that Charter Business or Charter Communications is actually a bandwidth community or broadband community. But one thing we really want to be is that link in the chain for a business. To give an example, I had a customer a year ago that did an event. He had to do 20,000 photos in that event. And it took him 92 hours to upload those photos. In the world we live in today, people want things right now. Like I just said, change your phone or change the music. So 96 hours, 4 days is not good for getting your stuff out to your customers. So we ended up switching him over. He did the exact same event this year, and he had it uploaded in 15 hours. So next day, people had their photos available for that event. And that's the main thing in business. No matter if you're a one-man shop or if you're an enterprise business, your main goal, well, everybody's goal, is to increase productivity while decreasing cost. And that's what we want to help customers do, is basically increase their productivity from 96 hours to 15. We also decreased his cost by 25%. So that's one thing we did for him. And two, we're a Gadgetfest. This is not going away.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an actual study from the Boston Consulting Group that says that the average annual compounded growth on bandwidth needs are going to go up by 29% on average over the next 5 years. So that's a lot. I mean, we want to make sure that everybody has what they need now and in the future. Because basically, the study also says that businesses that use technology and leverage their technology grow 3 times faster than businesses that don't. So
That's
we
awesome.
would like to help people do that.
All right. Hutch, thanks a lot. I'll take that. Round of applause for Hal Hutch. So, by the way, they've left you a little gift on many of the tables. If you did not get one on your table, I've got a few extra down front, so we can do some of those. And by the way, I am also playing a little bit of Santa. I know it's traditional; people give out things like peppermints and stuff like that. But if you prefer beer, I've got some tokens for beer for Tech After 5. I'd love for you to have one of those, or 2 maybe, but not more than that, right? No, we want you to network responsibly. Thank you for laughing at that. I appreciate that. Let's see, what else have I got here? How about we pull some Verizon guys in? Mike, are you going to do this?
Good.
All right. You are? All right, come on over here. I don't know exactly how or what you're going to do. I'll hand you that for a second. You want to stand over there? Or stand over here?
Let's stand. Can we stand over there?
I think we can. Let's
Okay,
walk. Let's
great.
walk over here and see if I'm good at this.
Okay, I can move over here. But
All right.
I might have you hold the mic while I do something.
Okay, sure.
All right, so we're going to talk. First of all, hey, I'm Michael Posner from Verizon Wireless. So glad to be here today. Sam Lancaster's joining me as well. He's my as I say, today he was our TV model, so look for him on the news tonight. That's right. Yeah. We brought a couple things today, and if you hadn't come by the table, I know we were busy earlier, come by. We got a lot of stuff. We may not have time to show everything right now, but feel free to come on over. Really, this is Gadgetfest. We're not selling you anything today, but you are able to buy all this stuff, obviously. So if you have any questions. One cool thing, and it's maybe for us the greatest gadget of them all, and you talk about the craziness of where we're going, where things are heading. This is called the Vigo robot. And the idea is that you take basically a Roomba vacuum, a webcam, and a network, throw them all together, and you got one of these things. It really is pretty amazing. So it's a self-contained telepresence robot. You can, anywhere the Verizon Networks works, it will be able to go. Works over our LTE network. You can connect to it from an iPad. You can drive it from the iPad. You can see from the iPad. You actually get two-way video as well. So the idea is that, and you may have seen commercials that are playing during football and everything else, but the idea is that you're a kid that's homesick and you can't go to school because you've got meningitis or something like that that's more longer term. You put one of these in a school, you go around, go to your classes, interact with your friends. Hospitals are looking to use them not only for patients but for the doctors to be able to kind of go up and down halls and see patients and interact with them. So even executives are getting them for an office. I'd like to keep see what's going on at this office and log into it. So stock your office, stock your workers. So
Wait a second, we've got this Tech After 5 thing going on, Mike, and I can't be at all of them.
that's
So
right.
maybe I could be at one and be networking with people at the other one at the same event.
That sounds great. Actually, you can name these things, so we'll have to name one the Yanoff.
There we-
This is Rosie right here, but we'll have to name one Yanoff, and we'll give you access to it.
I got it. Can you show us how it works?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to
So
hold this so I can do that? That looks like an iPad, right?
this actually is an iPad. This is the new iPad Air. If anybody hasn't seen it, I'll have it. You can come over and take a look at it as well.
We'll let you touch it.
I will let you touch it. So I can, from the iPad, I can log in and I can see that it's available. I'll go ahead and contact it,
Oh,
and lights will flash.
it's flashing. It says connecting.
I will say that back in the back here, not the greatest signal in the world for us, so, you know, obviously we'll do with it. Okay, and I'm gonna start driving this thing around.
And now it's time to recharge it.
The world works on batteries. You know.
That's kind of how that works.
We've got extension battery packs and everything like that. But the idea is that you can see me, I can see this, I can go around and
It's
navigate.
got a little camera. That's a camera and a light up in the front of this.
Yeah,
Which
so
we're
it's-
watching. You can see through the screen on the iPad, it looks like.
Connect back to it.
I see there. You know, I see it lit up. It wants to talk. I'm hoping this, at least in this rate, you guys understand. I need a little more Verizon in this building.
Yeah, there may need to be a little bit more Verizon in the building. That's true. It does work on our network. It actually can work on Wi-Fi networks. So the idea that if you're using it like in an area, if it got great signal, then that's fantastic. Otherwise, you can transfer it over and it can jump back and forth between Wi-Fi. So that's the general idea. We've also even had this for like police departments and things like that. Would like to stick one in a school so that they would actually be able to walk up and kind of monitor what's going on and things like that. I know even folks at Clemson have talked about like some projects using it in some unique ways and modifying it as well. So
That's very
Pretty
cool.
So there we
It's a
go.
cool looking gadget.
now we've got
I
video.
can see this picture, the other video coming through the gadget.
Yeah, we see video of what you guys are doing, and I can even, if I'm talking here, you should be able to hear me talk.
That's not gonna work with the microphone.
Oh, that's good.
I can hear you talking through there, but they can't hear you talking through
That's
there.
true. So that's one of the gadgets we
Cool.
have. It's pretty cool. I'll take it out later in the hallway, and then it probably will work a little better if anybody wants to
Sure.
see it as well.
Cool.
I'm gonna pass it over to Sam to talk
Alright.
about some of the other stuff.
All right, Sam, hold that for a
How
second.
much? Good question. So this is something that Verizon helped develop, but it's a company, Vigo's their own company, and they sell it directly. I believe the price is between the $6,000 to $9,000 area, and obviously there's some software on top of that. And you can connect it to our network and kind of do it on a monthly subscription as well. You think about how much gas and everything else costs. It's obviously not for something that's a toy. But it's something I think that's coming, and the price will come down on these things over the next couple of years, like any technology.
So 6 to 9 grand, but I could probably get a quantity discount if I need 8 or 10 of them.
I'm sure we can get you a fund.
That's great. That's awesome. It's not gonna happen. All right, tell me who you are.
My name is Sam Lancaster. Kind of work with Mike Posner over on the data nerd side and more in the retail channel.
And when you say you kind of work, what that means is it's all gadgets all the time. So we're not really working. We're back there, it's like Santa's toy shop with all this tech over
Yeah,
here.
we're the elves who get to play with all the new toys before they go to the kids.
Kind of tall for an elf, but I'm with you on that. Go ahead. All right, tell us what you got.
Yeah, so we brought a bunch of smart accessories with us today. So everybody probably in the room, say 95% of you guys have smartphones, right? Yeah. Well, back in the day, smartphones were just a very archaic web browser and email. Well, now we're into the really smartphone phase where we're talking about being able to control so many different things on your smartphone, where you can control like the light switches in your house, you can like track your fitness, track your weight, your body fat percentage, you control the lights, you control your garage door opener, those kind of things. So home automation plus while you're away, being able to work more productive in a more timely fashion, save money, those kind of things. So give you a brief overview of what we have here on the table. We have the Fitbit Aria. So this is a smart scale. So it'll not only track your body weight, it'll track your BMI, it'll track your body fat percentage right to your smartphone or your computer, whichever one you want to sync it to. It will not lie to you.
James wants to know if it's gonna lie to him.
It's the hard truth.
Now, for those of us who've taken our normal scale and simply put masking tape over the numbers anyway, what's the point of this actually?
Fitness. Yes. So it constantly keeps track of how much you weigh. You know, it'll tie into another smart accessory that we sell, kind of like what
Nigel had.
Nigel had. He had the Nike Fuel. This is the Fitbit Flex. We also have something called the Fitbit Force. So this is your fitness band that ties into the smart scale as well. Same kind of thing. It tracks your steps. It tracks your very active minutes. It has a sleep tracker as well to see how much time you spend in light sleep, how much time you spend in deep sleep, those kind of things. So all the times in. So this is a really neat accessory. This is the Hue Light Kit by Philips. So these are smart light bulbs. They're LED light bulbs, and it comes with a control hub as well that you plug into your internet connection. And hundreds of different color combinations. You can plug in up to 50 under one account. So if you want to have your entire house decked out with smart light bulbs, you can do that. All kinds of different color combinations, color palettes right there. So you can.
I know. I'm gonna tell you, I've been smitten by this.
Yeah.
I think this is a great idea.
Super cool.
So the idea is this little Wi-Fi hub, which Sam pulled up, so you can see the little hub in the bottom here. You talk to this using your phone, your iPad, or whatever, and these lights all have all these color change as well as the dimness, and you can automate all of this, right? You can tie it into other stuff. For example, you can even have software, if you run IFTT on your phone or on the web or whatever, you can actually have it so that if someone sends you an email that flashes a certain color, like if mom sends you an email that flashes red. So my thought, actually, I've yet to do this, my project is to put together a thing to let my kids know when it's bedtime. I have 2 small kids. And the idea is I could let the lights dim over time and kind of let them know that what I'm expecting, what time of day it is, etc. So it's kind of cool. Now, if you're a super nerd, I saw a guy on a video that had these things, and he had all the track lighting in his living room was filled with these. The light bulbs are about $60 a piece, I think. So they're filled with these light bulbs, about $60 a piece. And of course, you know, he was obviously hoping that one of his dates would work out in his life. That was the kind of thing he was working on. So it was mood lighting, but he had some cash on it. But that's a cool gadget. Ken, what else you got for us?
All right, so very simple solution, been around a while, but more mobile in solutions, the air copy scanner. So everybody's used a scanner before to be able to scan a document in, scan a picture, or whatever have you. So this is a mobile version of it. It connects via Wi-Fi direct to a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer. You can scan in old Polaroids via the kit that's included with the copy scanner. You can scan in receipts, and then it automatically saves them to the camera roll on your smartphone or your tablet or computer, and you have the ability to automatically email them out, share them via text message, those kind of things. So very simple solution, battery built into it, and no middleman internet connection needed. It uses Wi-Fi direct. So.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Sam, you got a bunch of other stuff here. How about afterwards we get people to come up and talk to you guys and get a chance to play with some of it?
Yeah, most definitely. Come and see us.
That sound good? Mike, good? All right, round of applause for Cowboy Driving. All right, JB has done some cool thing here. Are you ready for this? Sure. All right, I'm going to try to I'm going to pull your video up. You kind of give them a little talk to get them started, and I will pull this video up for you.
Well, I don't think I fall in the general category of a gadget head because I'm just an older guy. However, in the process of founding my company called Oversight Inc., we have used gadgets for data collection. And we've used a variety of them, and we've now progressed to using near-field communication. I think from our perspective, it's an interesting approach. It's been, so far, very successful, and we'll show you a little bit about how it works. That's the wrong chart.
It's playing. She's going to grab that. I'll sit down and let you do your bit.
Good. Okay, my name was J.B. Holman.
Hold the mic into you and stand out of the light. How about that?
There you go. These gadgets.
Yeah, I know. They're evil. Try it.
What our company does is it collects, processes, and reports actions and observations of employees. And those could be a whole variety of things. You could be doing safety checks, you could be checking the temperature of the computer room, you could be doing a security check, you could be doing a check that's required by regulatory environment. We do that, we collect it, we process it, we provide it in a report. Where we use the gadgets primarily is in the collection phase. Next chart, please. When we first started out, we started using barcodes. We've all used barcodes. They were around for a very long time. They were very successful. We then transitioned in our primary line, which is for security checks, to something called iButtons, and that's on the upper right. Many of you have heard of iButtons, many have not. The problem with both a barcode reader and a iButton reader is those things are pretty pricey. Secondly, they must be downloaded. They're not real time. So we used that, we fought with that, and it was just a time delay. It did not work here and now. We then switched to using a smartphone, and we could use any smartphone. We've used one, we're primarily Android-based, and we use an Android-based app to collect the data. Then we went through an evolutionary process. What is going to be the tag? And you're familiar, there's a variety of tags. We first started off with a QR code. It worked very well. You see a QR code, it would do it, it would take it, it would collect the information, it would be real time, and the phone we collected it on would send it immediately to the website, and our client could download that immediately. So the QR code proved that we could use a smartphone and use it efficiently and cost effectively. The ability to use the smartphone in our business has been able to reduce the price of the gadgets by at least half, in some cases by 2/3. So we're going along with the QR codes. There were some couple of limitations to QR codes. In some businesses, those can be photographed with the smartphone itself, and someone can actually take a picture of them and be making the checks while they're at home and watching TV. Many of our clients would
Say it isn't so, JB. Nobody would do that.
rarely. We've heard rumors only. But it did happen. And so we said, if there's some way we can create this situation where we can do it pretty similar, real time, quick, easy, but the ability to duplicate can be reduced. I suspect many of you have seen these where you touch the phone to something. It's called near field communication. We went down that route. We've just got that done. We've got now an app that will do near field communication, and that has worked even better. The beauty of near field communication, it can't be duplicated. It works in low light or no light conditions. You know, in a QR code, you have to take a picture. You've got to have enough illumination to be able to illuminate the QR code so you can take the picture. So there are several advantages. Secondly, or another reason, is for an NFC tag. You can see it sort of on the bottom of the screen up here. It is very small. It doesn't stare in your face. The QR code, you're going to see the QR code. So now let's see a range of QR or NFC tags we can use. There are a whole variety. We were using primarily right now, we're actually placing them on things, but you can see there's a wristband, there are key fobs, there are ID badges. You can actually put them in an ID badge, and they can be embedded into a PVC ID badge, you'll never see it. You can put them on a wall, just like an RFID. Actually, QR codes are an evolution of barcodes, and NFC is an evolution of RFID. So you can actually put them on a wall, you can actually paint the wall. Fortunately, one of our clients is building one, and of course, building one is going through this big building process right now. Say, where can we put this NFC tag? We can actually put it on the wall. So we're going to paint the wall. It won't hurt. It'll be able to read it underneath the paint. So that's one of the benefits of an NFC tag. Now,
That's because they don't use lead paint. Just
No,
kidding.
no,
Go ahead.
No, good point. Actually, an excellent point. You have to have NFC tags. Some of them, if you're going to put them on a metal item, they have to be an anti-metal NFC tag.
Right.
And of course, I'll need door frames and things like that, or in a security box,
Right.
or many machine piece of equipment. They are metal, so you have to use an anti-metal NFC tag, and they do exist. We found that out just yesterday.
Right.
We find that they don't work.
Yeah, next to that. Now, the first thing we do when we have somebody use this, we want to make sure that the person who takes over the smartphone is identified, so we can associate all subsequent reads with that individual. So here's, can you make me that again? I'm sorry. Here's how someone actually takes temporary ownership of a smartphone, and so you'll know who it is. And this is me yesterday doing it, but go on down.
It's going.
It's really simple, a lot simpler than anything we do. So here I am, got the smartphone, I pull out my ID badge, boom, it's done. Now the phone belongs to me temporarily. All subsequent reads that I make are going to be associated with me. Now, one of the first things that an owner may want is to be able to have his customer, have his employees sign in and sign out, a time and attendance thing. We don't compete with a facility-based system. Frontals will beat us all day. But as far as something that's an off-site, a construction site, a campus, or something like that, where you want to have somebody sign in various ways, you can use the smartphone and the NFC tag to sign in and sign out. Here I'm signing in. Here's a little beep. Done. So here we use smartphones, NFC tags to sign in and sign out. Now you can do a variety of checks. Again, whether you're doing a check, one's on a fire extinguisher, one's on a security system, one's on executive offices. We'll show that. So that just made the fire extinguisher check. This is executive office. It's our office. And here's a security device. You can see just how easy that is. I mean, it's just boom, boom, boom. Again, work in low light, work without having the possibility of duplication. A pretty effective way for a lot of different checks that people have to make or observations they need to make. Now, one of the things we can do is we can make observations through the smartphone using either a keypad or our vocal. I'll show you an example here where I'm reporting a simulated accident. So Don,
There has been an accident with injuries at the Smith construction site. I have already called 911.
nonetheless, there was an accident. Now, I reported that. One thing was to report it, but the next thing, when we prioritize all of our possible reads, we prioritize them as normal, important, or critical. If that is a critical read, immediately after that's received and sent, you'll get an email message and a text message on these cell phones, or it's just cell phones, smartphones of the designated managers. Here's what the report looks like on the upper right. It just says what I said. There has been a serious accident at the Smith construction site. Injuries occurred. I've already called 911. So that happens, boom. The fellow reports it, then the designated manager, and of course you can always call these guys, but this is recorded. You know when it was, you know the date, time, individual. It's all recorded. It's available. In addition to having that email and text message, there's a report that comes out that you can call out. It's web-based, of course. Call out, and you can see that same message right here. So this is the permanent record. That's the immediate notification. So we do this. We've now used our gadgets for data collection, and we've used them with smartphones and near-field communication.
Cool. Thank you. NFC tags, actually, so we actually can do something useful with those. I was wondering.
We can do something useful. Now we want to make something profitable.
That's the next step. Awesome. All right, a round of applause. JB, thanks so much. I just realized when we were doing that the sound is going to be here. I'm going to try something real quick here. I want to show you a little app. By the way, we're doing a thing with, see, make sure I find what I'm looking for here. I found it. Oh, that works. I don't know, anybody ever hear of Moog, Bob Moog? And I know you want to say Moog, but it's Bob Moog, right? And so Bob Moog, guy that invented the synthesizer. I don't know if you know, but he ended up, the end of his life was in Asheville, North Carolina. And the Moog Foundation is based up there. And for the past couple of years, several years, they've done a thing called the Moog Fest, which brought all of that stuff, which brought people around who were enthusiastic about that. Well, anyway, they did it with some of the people. They were doing a thing. I'm still hearing noise. Anyway, they are doing something really big next year. And they've asked us if we can partner with them and trying to show people what they've got going on. They're not here today. We thought they were going to make it today. But I have been playing, I've had this, I think, for a year, or just about the time count, this piece of software for my iPad called the Animoog, which is basically a high-powered synthesizer built into your iPad. Now, has anybody else in this room have this piece of software or played with it? Excellent. That means I might know more than you about it, but maybe not. But the cool thing about it, it's a full keyboard. So what you're seeing up there is a mirror of what appears on my iPad. I've set the mic up here so you can hear it. And this is just the default settings, right? So you have a keyboard across the bottom, and you can kind of see from my finger where I'm running my finger across. So you can play. Which is kind of cool. Actually, I don't know how to adjust the volume on that. But it's kind of cool as an overpowered, as a synthesizer. But the thing is, you have all of these controls with it. So you can play music on it, or you can simply mess with it. I don't know if you can see that knob is turning, but there's a little interface with my fingers. I can grab the knobs and turn them. Yeah, I can see it. And if it weren't enough that you have this keyboard, and the keyboard slides around and gets bigger and all that, so you have more keys on it or fewer, you actually have, on the side panels, these are actually multiple controls that slide in and out. And there's a whole bunch of other controls. A whole bunch of other controls that you can play with them. Now, this could be hard to set these up, so they've included a ton of defaults. So you have basses, you got lead guitars and those kinds of things. And they can be, or as I said, you're in your base. Let me pick, that sounds like a good one.
Free bird.
And a cool thing they've done, by the way, with the keys on all of these is that you can actually hit the key, and as you move your finger up and down on the key, it actually changes things about it. So it could be the portamento or whatever the glide. It's got all kinds of cool stuff on it. Anyway, keys, hits, all neat kind of stuff. But if you're, this is a kind of thing. That's as good as it's going to get for you and me, by the way. Anyway, it's the Animoog software that's available on the iTunes store. They have a whole bunch of cool stuff out there. I've got a bunch of synths that I've played with over time, but I just thought this was a neat one, and I thought in honor of the Moog people doing something with this, I'd show it to you. But you can go out and buy that if that's your kind of thing. Pretty cool, huh? How much is it? Russ asked. Russ, what would you pay for something like this? I don't know what it costs. I've had it for a long time. I think someone told me it might be even $15 or something like that. I don't think it's $2, but there's a whole bunch of them out there, but you might play with it.
A lot less than the original synthesizer 30 years ago.
So it is this funny thing. So the guys, well, I'll say it, they're not here, so we can talk about them, right? So the Moog guys, and I said, well, they're going to bring this, they'll bring one of these synthesizers. I said, the problem is, it's like I can't run out and buy one of these Moog synthesizers just to play with and like to show it to you, because the cheapest thing that you might want is $1,000, right? But the one you really want might be $6,000 if you were into that space or whatever. So this one was way less than that. The piece of software on mine. Bob says it's how much? $4.99 if you use the Gadgetfest discount. Yeah. And it's Animoog, Animoog, right? All right. Very cool. So listen, I got another thing I want you to see. I promise you, well, I was going to say you've never seen anything like this, but this is not entirely true. If you're a nerd, you have seen this exact thing, but you didn't know what it was. So I'm going to have my friend Joey Lohman come up here and explain to you what this thing is. And it's sitting right here. All right. You want to hold that? Hold the mic?
All right.
All right. What is that thing you've got in your hand? Although it's clearly labeled.
Restraining bolt tool.
A restraining, that sounds familiar. Restraining bolt tool. What is that? I'm not much of a Star Trek guy. There should be groans in the audience from a true nerd. Right, exactly. But I am a Star Wars guy, right? And so tell people what this is.
So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, on a little planet called Tatooine that has twin suns, there's a little robot that is kind of lost. His name is R2-D2, and he's rambling about the rocks.
Can I help? I've got a visual thing for them, by the way. I forgot that I brought this. But there might be people here who, let's see, where is he? Oh. Go ahead, now tell your story.
There's R2-D2 there, and he is unwittingly captured by a group of characters called Jawas. And right before R2-D2 is sucked up into their transport vehicle, the Jawas apply a thing to the robot called a restraining bolt. And if you watch closely at your VHS copy,
Are there such things?
as I did, you will see that the Jawas use a tool much like this one. And it happens to be a torch that you could buy at Radio Shack, which
30 years ago.
a short time ago at Radio Shack, not too far away.
Before they went to selling nothing but cell phones.
Exactly, before it was toys and things. You can actually buy a torch like this that is essentially a replica of the movie prop. And you'll also see it in Luke's workshop as he removes the restraining bolt from both C-3PO and R2-D2.
So if I need a restraining bolt tool, I don't have to go to a galaxy far, far away. I can simply go get one of these at Radio Shack in 1980 something.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Will it work with the robot over here?
But I don't know if it'll work with the current version of it, but the thing is, I'm still looking for the astromech droid that I might need to use that on. But anyways,
Does it need restraining? Does that robot need restraining?
The one over there?
oh yeah, that one might need restraining as well. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Anyway, this is a very cool thing. Joey had put this together. I had a birthday here a couple of weeks back, and Joey had put this together and handed it to me for my birthday. And I thought, that was so awesome. People ought to get a chance to see that little thing there. So you can come up and take a look at it. A round of applause for Joey Long. Where are we on the clock? 10 minutes till. Susan, are you going to show that thing that you've got back there? I can see it from all the way up here. How do I get this mic to you? There's a loose stuff between me and you. Here, let Travis do it. Maybe. Can you get elevation on that?
I can pick them up. That one's a little, the one with the mushrooms a little more touchy. This one's not as much. So this is a Peggy 2 board. This is hand soldered 625 LEDs that are individually addressable, and so it can actually do grayscale and it can do animations. And I was actually trying to do a hack where I could do pure serial, so it could work with people's imagery and cameras. But I updated my OS 2 days ago, and of course it screwed up all my drivers, and I have to do command line trying to figure it all out, which I did.
So you're telling us it runs Windows?
No, well, actually, I programmed it on a Mac. You can program it on a Mac or Linux or, you know, that other one. I should be nice. My brother works for Microsoft in research, so, but I'm not.
Yeah.
The other one is an IT2Pi Expo. I'm not sure if you guys have seen these. They're up and down Main Street. This is our kids program that I work with. That Melinda's here with as well. We had 10 of our students program these, and so I'm an artist and I love technology, and we're trying to get more awareness about art and tech or being friends. So that's why I brought a bunch of lights.
You put this thing together basically yourself. How many LEDs did you say?
625.
And you soldered them yourself?
Yes.
One at a time?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Lovingly soldered one at a time. That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's also 5 18 mega chips and God knows how many resistors on there. But
And you're trying to get us to go do that too, which I think is even more amazing. So it's kind of a cool thing. That is cool that you.
this one is a lot nicer because it actually comes together with all the soldering. But I did put the microcontroller together. So these are both. This one has a Diabolino, which is a Arduino clone. And if you want to have fun and you're a nerd, go check out Arduinos. But
I just love the way you talk, really. You had me at Arduino. It is my group. That is awesome. Tell people just really quick about this school program, the thing that you guys are doing in school.
So we have kids in our program from 7 to 18. Our goal is to do projects where they learn how to code, but they also bring things into the physical world. We're actually going to have a bigger gadget fest at the end of April, and anybody who has gadgets, who is a tinkerer or likes to show things off, is welcome to get in contact with us. We have a Kickstarter that is funded, that has a wonderful video on there that is still up if you want to go and learn more about us. Or I'm happy to talk to anybody about it.
Awesome. Will you hang around a little bit? We'll let people talk to you, and we'll be sure to send links around because I think that's doing great stuff. Thank you, Susan. Perhaps you bring up for me. Chris John. Archaeology. Way back in the back. That's all right. The mic is coming to me anyway. Awesome. All right, so you've got all these 3D. Well, first off, introduce yourself to these nice people.
My name is John Barchi. I'm with Iteology, which is to explain a little bit for those who don't know about Iteology.
We've tried to explain that to them, but try to do it in a sentence or two.
It's not the easiest. It's a nonprofit consortium of businesses and academia designed to promote IT throughout well, throughout the nation at this point, we've.
But at least in
national-
South Carolina,
Yes,
we're here
it's-
doing the work right
Yes.
now.
Started in
Awesome.
Columbia and branched out throughout the whole state.
Right, cool. All right, so you've got, this looks like 3D printers up here. I mean, even I can figure that out. This is cool stuff. So talk about what you've got here.
Okay, these got two different types of 3D printers. They're used FDM, fused deposition modeling, which is a thermoplastic, so ABS plastic or PLA plastic. And the two different types of printers we have, one's a 3D Systems, which is more of a closed source, and the PrinterBot's open source, and it comes as a kit. And these others come fully assembled, are much more user-friendly, and do a real high-quality print.
So this is, I mean, the green ones that I'm seeing here, this is an appliance. This is something I can go buy.
Yes.
And I can make things with it, like what you're showing here on the table, right? We got little robots, we got other things that we're printing out of plastic. This is all cool stuff up here. You might want to come up and take a look at. I mean, the thing is, these look really nice. I mean, they're really well done. Tell me about the, if I want to go buy one of these printers and I want to experiment with this at home, what am I looking to spend on something like this?
It's a great question. There's quite the price range.
Right.
The very basics you can start out with is this PrinterBot Simple. Comes as a kit, which is even better for me and you guys, I'm sure, too. That way you get to see what's the nuts and bolts of it, put it together. You have to actually program it, do everything from the ground up. It starts at $300 as a kit.
All right, so
And-
somewhere in the small hundreds, I can somehow
Yes.
get this where I'm buying the motors and that kind of stuff. Some of these I know that people are making some of these parts for them off of
Yes.
another 3D printer,
Yes,
right?
print
On
your
some
own.
of these kits. Whereas on this side of it, this looks like I write someone a check and I get a printer in the mail.
Exactly. This is 3D Systems. If anybody's familiar with 3D Systems, they're based out of Rock Hill. Their world headquarters is based out of Rock Hill. They're all over the world, obviously. But you can buy these actually at Staples. You can buy them on the Sky Mall. Very readily available at this point. Very user-friendly, very simple and easy to use. Just for example, I'll have these up here afterwards. They're little robots is what they are. These were designed and created and printed within about an hour by my 5-year-old and my 7-year-old. On a web-based 3D modeling software
So the piece of
sent over
software model,
Wi-Fi.
make the model, I take the model, load it into the printer, and the printer starts printing, and a couple of days later, that comes out, right?
Well, it's a little slow. It's not quite that slow.
All right.
This only took about 5-10. Well, it's about 12 minutes to print this. But in comparison, something the size of like this pumpkin takes about 6 hours. It is actually hollow inside. But
So am I, but. So one thing I wanted people to get is this kind of cool thing right here. I don't know if you can hear this. It makes all kinds of cool noises while it's printing too. It sounded like it was singing earlier. There we go. Yeah, go ahead. Talk about that.
just talk a little bit about this. Very, as the name implies, it's called Simple. Very basic, very small, very easy to assemble. I put this together in about 3 hours before the Maker Faire in Columbia. It's Arduino-based microcontroller, the printer board. You assemble it. You have to put all the software. It's all, like I said, it's all open source. It's hackable. It's a lot more fun to me. But 3D Systems maybe does a little bit better print job. A little bit more money. You're talking at $1,300. As you can see, very portable, very, that's why we use these. I love these. I do a lot of demonstrations, presentations, and workshops going into the schools, and they do a great job.
I see people doing things like printing iPhone cases and all that kind of stuff for it, right? And or whatever. I didn't see yours on the table, but there you are. You got a couple that you've done. So very cool. I'm guessing you know a lot more about these than I do. But if I wanted to get one of these that I could actually go ahead and print a gun with, what am I going to cost? Is it cheaper to buy the gun or cheaper to buy the printer?
It's a lot safer to buy the gun.
Okay, great. Well, I don't know. I buy them and ex-wives use them against me, but it's probably not a good plan. This is very cool. Are you hang around for a little bit after this today and let's talk to people? Because I am sure they want to come up and see this stuff and get a chance to ask some questions.
It definitely helps to come up and see it, touch it. Don't be afraid to touch and feel it. The kids haven't destroyed these by now. You guys aren't going to. So.
Look at this. Body parts. We're making stuff. I mean, I need a new back or something like that. You could help me out with this.
They're actually working on complete organs as well. So if you need a new heart, liver, anything else?
The liver can come in handy. All right, John, thanks a lot. Round of applause for John. Let's see where we are in the clock. So we're pretty close to the end. Where's Russ? Russ, we're going to talk about this Chromecast thing, which I think is really kind of cool, right?
Yes.
Does anybody here know what a Chromecast is? Have you heard what a Chromecast is? So there's some folks that know and some who don't. There, why don't you tell people how this works?
So in my training sessions, I use YouTube very often, clips, and also Netflix. And right before Chromecast, had to be hooked up to a computer. Chromecast is enabling to broadcast directly from my iPad into the projection. I can take it home and plug it in my television, watch Netflix from my iPad right onto my television screen. So it bypasses a computer.
There's a couple things I like about this, right? And just hold on for a second. You can hold all that for a second, right? But the fact is, it's really small. It's just a little black dongle and a little cable that comes out, so it plugs into an HDMI port on your projector. Plugs into an HDMI port. You can actually just plug into a USB port for power. It doesn't actually have to go find its own power or find a transformer or anything like that. So this thing can actually be set, like in his case, where I set that one up. When you turn the projector on, the device comes to life right then. It syncs into Wi-Fi. You can do all that kind of stuff.
Very simple. It's not very expensive. I think it's $30 or so. Does anybody $30?
$35.
$35. It's very simple, very easy to install. I put it in. Maybe I had some help. That's my IT department.
Did you? All right. So, but yeah, it's kind of not too tough kind of thing. But the neat thing is, you can run it off of any phone. You can run off an iPhone. You can run off an Android phone. You can run off an iPad. You can run off a laptop. If you're running the Chrome browser, you can actually mirror the browser up onto it. So if you want to use it for work-related stuff, right, you can grab it and fling it up on the screen, and you can do it for like $35, which is pretty reasonable, right? Okay, Seth, ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you know if they're updates the firmware on those? Because I got one I've had about 2 months. I haven't even opened the box.
Yeah. So the question was, are they updating the firmware? And I think it's been done already. Is my thought, but I'm not sure. Does someone know better than that? I see cross looks.
Is it updated?
Yours updated? Because I thought that they had. Because I'll go in and poke at that one. It looks to me like I've seen something happen. Bob, help us. Can you broadcast live video? Like from the camera, from the iPhone or camera? No, I don't know how you would. I won't say no. I think that might be tough. It might be low. Let me tell you. So if you've ever played with like an Apple TV or something like that, which is kind of cool, that's kind of neat. So let me tell you how this is different than an Apple TV, because I think it's useful to know. So an Apple TV, when you're talking, so that's a gadget that attaches to your television, and you've got your iPad on this side. And your iPad is talking to the Apple TV directly and sending it video, which it plays on your television. The way this gadget works is you tell it, I want to watch this YouTube video or this Netflix video, and it goes out and grabs it from Netflix. So the point of it is you can actually start it with your phone, and you can turn your phone off, and that thing just keeps streaming. It'll go all the way to the end of the video before it asks any questions.